A man is about to murder hundreds of children. Can Nightwing stop him? Wally West is flying through time trying to stop Speed Force problems. And a brand new Supergirl story is starting right here today on Comicstorian, your home for trade paperbacks and single issues read back to you dramatically by me, Benny. All alterations to the panel, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Welcome to our DC Friday Roundup, where I take some of my favorite issues from last week, and I keep you guys up to date on what is going on in these storylines. Today we're going to be bringing you the continuation to Nightwing, the continuation to Flash, and the first issue of the brand new Supergirl storyline. I'll give you a little background as to where we are in all of these storylines right before we get into that comic. So if you just want a quick recap, it'll be right there. But if you want to watch last week's episodes for all of these comics, check out the link down below. And don't forget, this compilation video series is brought to you by our Patreons. Patreon.com/Comicstorian, where you can support us further because YouTube sucks sometimes. Now, let's get into these videos because that's all you really care about. Nightwing issue 81 is first. When we last left off with Nightwing on issue 80, he had inherited a ton of money from Alfred Pennyworth, and then was trying to figure out how to help the people of Bloodhaven with his newfound fortune. But he ran into an individual that was stealing the hearts of the homeless. This villain, known as Heartless, then followed Nightwing in his investigation and set fire to a tent city. Fire begins to spread around the homeless children's encampment, with Nightwing telling everyone to stay behind him. Barbara radios in asking what's going on, and Nightwing tells her that he's here. Heartless. Nightwing looks back at the kids, telling them to hang on tight. He's going to get them out of here, but that's the moment that Heartless takes out a fire extinguisher, clearing a path. Come on, kids. Off you go. Nightwing asks what is he doing, and Heartless tells him, I don't want to watch them die. I want to watch them run. He reaches into his coat, pulling out the gun that he uses to steal hearts, telling him, I've heard of you. Was hoping we'd get a chance to meet. Nightwing, Bloodhaven's guardian angel. You must have quite a heart. The gun is fired, but Nightwing ducks, throwing his baton, but before it can even hit Heartless, he catches it, using it to smack Nightwing back with his own weapon. Barbara again asks what is going on, and Nightwing says that he just got hit so hard that he is seeing a concerning number of spots for a guy who should avoid more head injuries. Heartless follows up with a heavy punch, but Nightwing rolls out of the way just in time, telling him, you're fast and strong, but that's all you are. Your technique is terrible. You have the upgrades, but you haven't done the work, like you've tried to take a shortcut to supervillainy. Nightwing continues to dodge all of Heartless' attacks, but then jumps behind him to choke him out, telling him, it doesn't matter how strong you are, you still need to breathe. Heartless shouts in anger, throwing Nightwing off, and Nightwing tells him, that's it, get angry, I can work with that. Heartless gets back up, scoffing, this can wait, I can kill you later. And you expect what, that we're just gonna walk away? Heartless tells him, of course you will, because I know your pathetic weakness, you care. Heartless pulls out a small switch, telling him, all those kids running? They're running towards the pier, which is where I wanted them to go. I wanted to see their fear. I wanted to see their faces. But it's okay. I can have a pretty vivid imagination. Nightwing quickly repels out, radioing to Tim. It's a trap! Get the kids off the pier! But before Tim has a chance to respond, Heartless activates the bombs, blowing up the only walkway back to land. The fire quickly spreads, and Tim tells them all that he's going to need a better option than forcing a bunch of kids into the sea. You got any ideas, Dick? Nightwing continues to make his way over to them, telling Barbara to patch him into the Maritime Distress Channel. If they need help, they should try asking for it. Once the line is connected, Nightwing calls out, Mayday, Mayday, there are hundreds of children in need of rescue at the end of Bloodhaven Pier 12. I repeat. For a few moments, there's nothing. Then all of the ships across the harbor begin to report in that they are on their way. The message has been heard. Nightwing stops for a moment. Not everything in the city is broken. Barbara, alert the local hospital, but before he could finish his statement, he passes out. A short while later, Nightwing awakens in his apartment, asking what happened, and Barbara examines him, telling him that he lost consciousness. He is still recovering from being shot in the head and being hit by an enhanced supervillain. Nightwing sits up. Yeah, that would do it. Tim tells him that Bitewing was worried too, and Nightwing's dog begins to wag her tail and bark. Bitewing? It's actually great, but her name is Haley. Tim asks if he's really going to tell the people in this room that they can't have two names. And Barbara says, I have 3! But while you were out, I did some digging. The woman that we saw Boss Maroney with the other day, I found out who she is. As Barbara holds up her laptop, Nightwing looks at the picture and a headline stating Mayor Zuko. And Nightwing asks, wait, What? Barbara says she did more research. She's Tony Zuko's daughter from his first marriage, but Tony didn't stick around past her 8th birthday to raise her. Nightwing sighs. Well, that's a positive. And Tim tells him that she was raised by the Maroney family instead, and Nightwing says, right, that's so much worse! I really wanted to help clean up the city with the officials, but this is going to make it a lot harder. I'll pay Melinda Zuko a visit and see what I could find out. But Barbara tells him, absolutely not. You need rest. Your injuries aren't something that you can just brush off. So, Nightwing rests, long enough for Barbara and Tim to leave. There's no way that he was going to sleep in when the criminal daughter of the men who killed his parents is now the mayor of his city. He sneaks over to Melinda's apartment, breaking in, and when he does, Melinda's bodyguard waits for him around the corner. As she swings, Nightwing ducks, rolls, kicking the sword away, but still manages to be thrown off balance enough to be knocked down the stairs. Melinda comes out of the next room with a bat, stating, "It's okay, Audrey, I've got this," and all Nightwing could hear after that was a loud thud. So a short while later, Nightwing shakes his head, waking up again. He could already feel that his arms and legs are tied up, and wait, there's more. His mask is gone. As Nightwing looks up, Melinda holds up the mask. Dick Grayson? In a fit of anger, Nightwing rips the ropes, telling her, "You know me? Well, I know you too. You worked for the Maroney crime family and you're the daughter of Tony Zuko." Melinda says no, she's not. She thought she was for a long time, but when she learned the truth, her real father is John Grayson. I'm your sister. What? Yes! Dick Grayson potentially has a sister. The reaction I just gave you there was my actual reaction to reading this issue. I thought you guys might appreciate a faked up secondary what my reaction was at the time of it happening. But either way, it's still a big potential reveal. It's going to be interesting to see what Tom Taylor does with this. But let's move into the next story on our compilation list, because it's time for us to cover Flash 771. Now, when we last left off with the Flash series, Wally West decided to give up his powers, and in order to do so, he was going to transfer them to Barry Allen. But when they attempted to do this, they discovered that the Speed Force was injured and was sending Wally West through time into the body of other speedsters to fix problems in the timeline. He's already been in the body of a caveman and in the body of Impulse, and now, well, let's get into 771. As the final crackles of lightning die down, Wally finds himself in the body of Eobard Thawne, in the middle of the Legion of Doom headquarters, and a dead Superman on the floor. Wally looks around. Guys, I might have just done something terrible. Cheetah laughs, telling him that it would seem that he's trying to prove why he's deserving to be in the Legion of Doom. Well, this kitten doesn't need to see anything else. Shall we take a vote? Meanwhile, back in the current time, Barry tells Wally to just relax. He's watching everything, and he needs Wally to not freak out. The mission is the same. Find the surge that is damaging the Speed Force, drain it, and come back. Green Arrow tells him, I don't get it. How long has Wally been gone? Shouldn't the Speed Force, release him already? Mr. Terrific says, I agree. Something is wrong. Barry thinks for a moment and then yells, that's it! Wally is somewhere in the Omniverse. He has an infinite number of conduits to jump to. Green Arrow says that if that's true, that means that Wally might not ever make it home. Back in the alternate reality, everyone on board shouts, evil! In favor of allowing Reverse Flash to join their ranks. Wally quietly looks around. Right, thanks guys. Cheetah tells him, no, thank you. We didn't think it was possible, but you turned a little boy Blue into a harmless chew toy. Lex Luthor stops. Wait a minute. Something's not right. How did you do it? A random lightning bolt that exploded out of his chest? A power that if you had, Reverse Flash didn't put onto his application. So tell everyone, what else are you hiding? Wally thinks for a moment and says, well, I'm not hiding anything. If I could tell you everything that I could do, you could use that against me. And knowing you, Lex Luthor, you probably have a file on everyone here. Everyone looks at Lex and he tells them, that is not true. And Cheetah says, oh, I can smell a lie, Lex. Lex asks her, how? You can't smell if someone's lying. But while all the supervillains begin to argue, Wally begins to sneak away when somebody clears their throat and everyone stops. Superman flies up, stating he doesn't know what they tried to do, but it didn't work. Wally begins to run, but as he runs into the next room, he finds himself in a large open room, and on the other side of the window is the infinite void of space. Pretty cliche, huh? The Legion of Doom is up in space? Superman then bursts through the ground, stating, Give it up before anyone else gets hurt. And Wally goes, wait! The energy running through your body, it's volatile. We need to find a way to drain it before it explodes. Superman laughs. How exactly are you going to do that? Use the same power dampening ray that Luthor made to get me here in order to siphon it off? This S on my chest doesn't stand for stupid, pal. Wally asks, wait, Luthor did what? But Barry tells them that they need to find out how Lex drained Superman's power before, so that they can use it to drain the surge. Wally thinks to himself that he just needs to find Lex. Never mind. Outside, Lex shoots through the glass with his kryptonite laser, stunning Superman, but as Wally is being sucked into space, he latches onto Lex's ship. He vibrates through it before Lex can get ready to kill Superman, telling him, wait, how did you drain Superman's power before? Lex tells him, that is proprietary information. I can't just... Wally then begins to slap him at supersonic speeds, and when he finally stops, Lex stares stunned and then points to the green button on the right of the steering column. Wally hits Superman with the power dampening ray, with Barry asking if it worked. As the explosion goes off, Wally tells him, yep, he can feel himself being pulled away. Lex jumps out of his seat shouting that he just absorbed too much energy. The ship is going to explode! Wally laughs, fine, you know what? I'll let you have it. Give me your best shot. I won't even move. As Wally is taken away, Eobard sees the oncoming punch, asking, wait, what? From there, Wally continued to drain the Speed Force surges one timeline at a time. Back in the Old West, Titans Academy, the Justice Society, and some fight with a wizard? Finally, Wally stops in San Francisco, sitting in a cafe. Before he could even guess where he's at, the woman before him says, hey, Dad. Yes, I know you just got flung into the Speed Force, tossed through time, landing in various speedsters' bodies to stop the Speed Force surge from infecting and detonating anyone that it hits. Of course, there's more to that story, but we're not there yet. Wally looks at his own daughter. Ira? Ira tells him, yeah, don't worry, you landed in Jai's body. Thank goodness. About 20 years in the future. Wally looks at himself in the mirror. What about the surge? But Ira reaches over, telling him that Jai had his power dampener on. It went from him to another, and she absorbed it all, with hardly anyone noticing. Turns out she might be stronger in the Speed Force than he is, or anyone for that matter. She'll slowly release the energy, which gives them a few minutes before he has to go. Wally then asks, how did you know? And Ira says that he used to tell them this story every night before they went to bed. The stuff with the speed dinosaur was always their favorite. Wally gets up hugging her. You're so beautiful and tall. Most importantly, you're okay. His daughter looks up at him. Yes, yeah, I'm okay. As the two sit back down, Wally says that this is a dream come true. To know his daughter is alive and well and... Wait, is that a ring? She pulls her hand back. Yeah, I forgot to take it off. Yeah, I'm married. He's great. You hate him, though. Wally starts patting himself, asking, wait, what about Jai? Is he married? She lets out a loud, ha! No. Probably be careful with what I say because of the whole time continuum thing, but Jai is dating a girl. Oh, she's a bit of a time traveler. They work together from time to time, actually. Wally smiles. I may have already met her, but really it's good to see you. You have no idea how much me and your mom worry about the two of you. Looks like I made the right choice retiring from being a hero. She spits out her coffee, laughing. Retired? For hearing? Oh hey, that's our cue. A bolt of lightning strikes and Ira changes into her speedster costume. Ta-da! With Wally stating, wait, no, you're a superhero? But I quit! I didn't want this for you. She says that it isn't just her, and she points to Jai. You did keep us safe. You also taught us how to use our powers for good. You taught us how being a hero is doing the right thing no matter what. You didn't just teach us how to survive. You taught us how to thrive. Ira opens up a portal telling him to come on. She needs to show him something, and after yanking Wally out of his seat, Ira runs through space asking if he can see it. The Flash family has done all right for themselves. Wally looks ahead seeing a bright light with the Flash lightning bolt on it, asking what is it? And Ira tells him that he'll find out soon enough, but it's almost time for him to go. And before that, she has to tell him that he is a great dad, the best. The only thing that he might have been better at is being a superhero. However, what happens next is going to be hard, but trust me when I say that you're going to get through it. Put one foot in front of the other. Uncle Barry, I'm about to close off the conduit. If you're going to send a burst through the Speed Force, now's the time. Barry says that they're ready, but Wally says that he can't just go yet. And Ira tells him, it's okay. We have our whole lives ahead of us. I'll see you in the future, Dad. Suddenly, Wally is pulled back again, and when he opens his eyes, finds himself in a field. The field outside of Sanctuary. Now, for those who don't know, look up the storyline Heroes in Crisis. The Sanctuary storyline is the time that Wally lost control of his powers and accidentally killed a bunch of people who were seeking help. But now it's time for us to move to the final story in today's compilation issue. Everyone's been talking about this one, so I hope you guys enjoy. It's the brand new Supergirl storyline. This story has a slightly different sort of beginning in a faraway land. It doesn't begin with the one that we call Supergirl. She'll come in later. But this is a story about a man whose name will not be spoken. A man who did not die a dignified or honorable death, but a thief, a criminal, and a liar. One who at the time went by the name Cream and claimed the Yellow Hills as his place of origin. Cream came upon a small rock farm requesting shelter and a meal, which he was granted by a kind and godly family. But the next morning, Cream and the man got into words with one another on the subject of their new king. Those words were ended when Cream unsheathed his weapon. However, the strange part was the blade left in the man. It was a finely crafted sword, worthy of even the knights of the Old Mist. But why was it left behind? This left the man's daughter, Ruthai, perplexed. She had meant to ask Cream why he would leave such a beautiful piece behind, but Supergirl would see it and state that he would fall to the ground dead before ever getting an answer. But going further on would be getting ahead of our story. During the coming night's meal, Ruthai gathered for supper alongside her 6 older brothers, who were all yelling and mad at one another about plans of vengeance. However, as noble a cause as it would be, they knew and understood the outcome before a voice could be raised. Cream of the Yellow Hills was likely a king's agent sent there to test them. For even in the plains where the king is loved, there may be doubters. And Ruthai's cherished father aptly demonstrated offending a king's agent, which was the start of a quick journey to the grave. But rather than wait for the impossible, Ruthai decided to do the impossible. She set out on her father's mount to demand retribution from Cream of the Yellow Hills. The first stop on Ruthai's journey was the taverns to find a mercenary worth their weight to track down and kill him. She found one, a well-known one too, and offered the blade left behind as payment for their services. The sellsword said that he would take her up on her request, but not in the terms that she specified. He will take the blade as payment now and track down the king's agent. Ruthai shouted that there will be no such arrangement. Clearly, only being a child, there was not much that she could do to stop the large man. He slapped her to the ground, telling her, "Listen carefully. This is a lesson your teachers may not have spoken, but your request will be fulfilled." But as the man would leave, a blonde drunkard would stop him, grabbing the sword, telling him to stop. Just wait. The man pulls away, asking, "Have I not been informed? Is today the festival of impertinent women? You will remove your hand at once from me." The woman pulls the sword, stating that she will give it back to the child, and he can just walk away. They won't fight because it is her birthday. The man reaches for the sword, telling the drunkard that if she has a god that she prays to, you might want to express your respect for their benevolence. But this was not any woman. This was Supergirl, and she was trying to enjoy her 21st birthday. The man swipes his sword, cutting some of the robes that Supergirl is wearing, and she stumbles, shouting, "Stop, stop, just wait a minute, God!" The man braces himself for an attack, but instead, Supergirl drinks some more. The man asks, "What is this madness?" And Supergirl tells him, "It's okay, I'm done now. You probably should have left because this is going to hurt." She takes the glass bottle, smashing it over the man's face, and just like the man, she shouts in pain. It would seem that she had forgotten that she is under a stupid red sun. The man lunges at her, but in her drunken grace, Supergirl avoids being hit and flips the man onto his back, disarming him all in one swift motion. The next morning, she wakes up asking what happened. She feels like she's going to throw up. Supergirl looks at her costume, stating that she wasn't wearing this. No one is supposed to see it. And Ruthai hands the bucket over, telling her that she admits that those clothes are certainly unique in their color and ornament. So Supergirl asks, who is she? Ruthai introduces herself as Ruthai Marai Knoll, and she is witness to their bravery and skill, and she would like to hire them to kill Cream of the Yellow Hill. Does she have any interest in such an arrangement? Supergirl looks at Ruthai for a moment and then begins throwing up. Ruthai tells her it's okay. Take your time, I can wait. Later, she gets ready to set off across the lake, and Ruthai asks if she does not understand the worth of this blade. Supergirl tells her that that's the thing. She isn't much of a sword person. She didn't come here for any reason other than to drink. Goodbye and best of luck, and don't kill people, it's bad. Now, had Ruthai turned around, that would be the end of our story, but the young girl was persistent. She dove into the lake and swam, nearly passing out from it, but she didn't stop. She couldn't stop. She eventually reached the shore, but what she found was something that she could only describe as indescribable. Ruthai walked closer to the large machine, and suddenly it sprang open, with Supergirl asking, "What are you doing here? The ship is already set up for autopilot, and it's going to be taking off soon. You gotta get away." Ruthie stood her ground and Supergirl kneeled down. Look, I'm sorry, but I have to go. We both do. Ruthie waits for a moment, then holds out the decorative sword, telling her, I would like to hire you to kill Cream of the Yellow Hills, the man who murdered my father. Supergirl sighs. Look, I know you have a lot of anger inside, but what we have to look for is justice, not vengeance. Also, first rule of my job just so happens to be don't kill people. Ruthie screams as she begins to cry, and Supergirl rubs her head. I just came here to have a drink on my birthday, so I wouldn't always have to think about... Just then, an arrow finds its mark in Supergirl's chest, and she falls to the ground. Across the field, the mercenary from before tells Cream that was a fine shot, worthy of Trey's assault on Mayasa. Cream reaches for another arrow, calling out to Ruthie, stating that he understands that she is trying to hire people to kill him. Well, he has hired them to find her. As Cream pulls out an arrow, Crypto barks and begins to run at him. The second arrow is fired, hitting Crypto, and because they're still under a red sun, it buries itself inside the dog. Supergirl screams as she gets back up, walking forward asking, do you even know who I am? I don't even care about your stupid sword and arrows. After grabbing the mercenary sword by the blade and ripping it out of his hands, she punches him and turns to Cream. Cream begins to run, but Supergirl didn't care. She hurried over to check on Crypto. She couldn't leave him alone. Cream, though, he sought cover in the strange alien ship, only at the moment that it happened to be taking off, and that Cream of Yellow Hill, killer of men, women, and dogs, was able to escape and flee into the stars. And that concludes the first issue of the Supergirl issue that everyone is talking about. I hope you guys enjoyed these 3 issues. This week of comics was incredible. I loved all 3 of these, and I'm super excited to see where they're all going to go. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about Nightwing's potential sister, what you think about the future of Wally and him ending up back at Heroes in Crisis, and what do you think about Supergirl issue 1? And if you don't have anything to say about any of these, then just go ahead and give us a smile in the comments down below. Let's go ahead and end this with the usual Patreon call out. Thank you to all of our Patreons for supporting us through all of these rough times here on YouTube. You guys are incredible, and if you want to become a part of our Patreons and help have a vote in what is coming to our channel, go ahead and join us over at patreon.com/Comicstorian. I would really appreciate having all of you there, and I think you'd have a lot of fun joining our discussions. Thank you anyway, and I'll see you next time right here at the Comicstorian channel.